Hello everyone and welcome to my March journal with me. Last month I made a journal with me video and a lot of you really seemed to like it and you asked me to make these a monthly thing if I can, so I'm going to try my best to do these every month. So yeah, this is my March bullet journal layout. Just like last month, I said I always like to listen to something while I am journaling, and last month I was listening to an audiobook. This time I was listening to my February playlist, which will be linked in the description box below if you'd like to listen along with me. There was a lot of Rina Sawayama on there because I discovered her this month and I have become obsessed. She's so good. So for my theme this month, I decided to go with this idea that I've had for a little while now. For my birthday, my friend got me these really pretty Van Gogh stickers. Basically, they're just different stickers of his paintings. And ever since I got them, I had this idea of like turning them into little paintings, like sticking them down and then drawing little frames around them, as if they were hanging up in a museum or something like that. So that's what I decided to do. I used this gold jelly pen to draw the frames around it, so it's like they're hanging in gold frames, and I really liked the way that it ended up looking. I actually made a lot of mistakes while I was doing this setup, like this layout. I got so frustrated so many times throughout this video, so it literally took me like 3 to 4 hours to film this, plus like a whole dinner break. Like I took a really long break as well because I just like kept messing up and I hated it while I was doing it. But as I was watching this back, I realized that I actually really liked the way that it turned out. But me, while I was doing this, just know, was like losing it a little bit because I was so frustrated. So on this other page next to the title page for March, I decided to write a quote this month. This was also one of the things I ended up hating. And later in the video, I'll show you I ended up covering it up with some paper and a different quote. I chose this quote specifically by Van Gogh because I thought it was like a bit shorter, so it would be easier for me to write, but it wasn't even the quote I wanted to use, so I wasn't super happy with this page at all in the beginning, but you'll see later I'll come back in and like fix it up a little bit so that I'm a bit happier with it, and yeah, it looks very different later. Alright, then moving along to my monthly calendar page. So this month I did the same layout that I did the previous month. Like I said, I usually find like one layout that I like and then use it consistently for like several months because it just works for me, and I've really just been liking this layout because it's so simplistic. But the color scheme I chose for this month as well was just green, so like all the paintings I chose, the stickers I chose, were most of the green ones because I just like green and it reminds me of March. It's also like my favorite color, I think. If I could choose a favorite color, I'd probably say it's green right now. I decided to also go with like this kind of wonkier looking font because I felt like it just matched the aesthetic that I was going for, that was like a little bit less neat and a little bit more messy and like casual. I don't really know how to describe fonts. I did also make a mistake here and end up drawing like the line a bit too far for the month because I wasn't thinking, and I was thinking it was like February again and like the month ended exactly on a Sunday. That's not the case, but it ended up being okay anyway because I can just use those extra spaces for the first few days of April because I'm actually going to need it because I'm going to be so busy for the next few months. But then I once again took the gold jelly pen and drew little circles around each of the dates for the month to add in some more of the gold color, and then again added in a sticker to draw the frame around and everything. I will say one of the downfalls of using the jelly pen in your bullet journal, especially if you're filming something like this, is that it takes a really long time for the pen to dry. So if you don't let it fully dry, it's going to transfer. If you like close the page or like move your hand across it, it'll smudge. So yeah, you really do have to wait a long time for it to dry, especially if you're drawing like thicker lines and stuff. So that was definitely something I should have considered when deciding to use this for my theme this month and actually film it. But ultimately, like, it did end up looking nice. So yeah, I'm still happy about that. But now here I'm just writing in the title for March, and once again I am going to end up coming back to these pages and adding in some more detail and stuff because I didn't add a lot of detail and it was feeling like really empty to me. But then I like took a break later on and then came back with some like fresh new ideas and added in some more details and stuff. But here I just ended up cutting one of the stickers to make it a little bit smaller so that I could add in like another sticker in that empty space, and I think it ended up looking nice, and for now this is the finished product for that spread. Alright, so now we move on to my monthly playlist spread. I like to do these every single month, and basically I will just like make a playlist of songs that I'm listening to a lot that month and then print out the album covers and like paste them in here and stuff. But I'm not going to do it right now because, like I said, it's the songs that I listen to that month, so I usually do it halfway through the month or so. But if you want to listen to my February playlist, I can have the link to the playlist in my description box, like I said at the beginning of this video. So you can listen to the February one, and then I will make the March one sometime in the middle of March. I'm afraid I'm not going to have time to make a playlist for March, honestly, because I have no time to do anything this month, which is tragic. But I just drew a little like border around it so that it looks like it's a frame, so that all the little album covers can be inside this frame. And then we move on to my habit tracker page. And since I decided to do the painting theme this month, I wanted to incorporate that into this page as well. So I decided to get a little bit more artistic, not that artistic, but a little bit more artistic, and draw all of the like different boxes for the trackers as like frames. So I like drew little frames around them. It was a lot. This page took me a while to do, not because it was like complicated or anything, just because it took so long for the gold jelly pen to dry, and I like had to wait for one to dry completely before I could start the next one. So it just took a while. But once again, the habits that I track are water, so how much water I'm drinking, how much I'm sleeping, skincare, yoga, making my bed every morning, what does that one even say? Uploading, reading, and playing the piano. So it's the same ones as last month. Like I said, these are the ones that I track pretty much every single month. Occasionally one or two will change, but it's usually just these. It also took me a while to like figure out how many different frames I could draw. Like I just made these up on the spot. They're like not complicated whatsoever. I did really simplistic things, but I did an alternating pattern of like squared corners and rounded corners, and I think it ended up looking really nice actually. I'm pretty happy with this one. And then I went back into the title and added in a bit more detail just to emphasize it a little bit, just because I felt like it was a little bit too plain. And then I went back in with the jelly pen as well and added some little dots around it just to add a little bit more of the gold color, because I felt like it needed that to tie it together. And ultimately, I feel like it ended up looking pretty nice. Also, I ended up taking a break while I was doing this, like I mentioned, and so I'd blown out the candle and then relit the candle, but the second time I relit the candle, it burned my fingernail, like the nail polish. So now there's just this like black mark on there from me burning my nail. Anyway, if you see that, that's why. But this is how the spread turned out, and I'm really happy with it, actually. That was the one I liked the most. Okay, and then we move on to the page that I just like completely messed up. So if you watched last month's video, then you know that I always make a video planner page that takes up like a whole 2-page spread, and I write video on one page and then planner on the other page. But this month I decided to write planner first because I thought it would like make the spacing a bit better, but I accidentally wrote video on the wrong page instead of planner. So I ended up having to make this whole spread just my video plans spread now, which is actually okay because I don't typically need a full 2-page spread. But then I was like a little bit lost on like what to do with the other page. So I ended up just writing thoughts, like basically like people make brain dump pages. I know that's a common thing with bullet journals, but I just wrote thoughts so I can just write down anything I have thoughts about, any lists I need to make, literally whatever I feel like I need to write down. It's just like a page that I can use that for, because I basically do this in like other journals or on the notes app on my phone or something. So I thought I may as well just have a space in here that I can do that with. So this was actually, as Bob Ross would say, a happy accident. I'm not too mad about it. It ended up nice, and I think the spread ultimately ended up looking good too. I also added in one of the stickers here to obviously just continue on with the whole painting theme, and I just really like this painting and the colors of it. I think it's really pretty, and I think it tied the whole spread together. So yeah, that's what it looks like, and I'm pretty pleased with it. And lastly, we move on to my weekly planner page. I am all over the place today. Oh my goodness. Yes, my weekly planner page, which again, if you saw last month's spread, then you know that I always do this same simple spread. I separate the page into 6 different sections and then write out the days of the week. And then the weekend I just write as one like section. And then yeah, it's very, very simple. I really don't like to make these pages complicated whatsoever because I need them to be like as open as possible so that I can write as much as I need to, as messily as I need to. But this time I did go back with the jelly pen and draw circles around the dates just like I did for the monthly calendar so that it was cohesive with that spread, and then also added in some little dots with the jelly pen too so that it was a little bit more decorated. But now, this is when I went back into the quote page and fixed what I didn't like. So off camera, I made this separate page with a different quote on it that says, "What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything?" by Vincent van Gogh. And I really like this quote, and this is the one I originally wanted to use anyway. So I just put it on this like brown piece of paper from a different journal that I had, and then wrote the quote on a smaller piece of white paper. And I feel like it works. I feel like it goes with the theme. It's not like that different. And then I also, like I mentioned earlier, went back in and added some detail to some of the other spreads. Like I added the dots around the March, and later I also added some dots around the goals area as well. But yeah, this is what my March bullet journal layout looks like. Like I mentioned earlier, I was not happy with it as I was making it, but now looking back on it, I'm actually very happy with it, and it's probably my favorite spread I've ever done. I really love the colors, and I like the gold detailing and stuff, and it was really fun for me to make. So I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. I hope it gave you some ideas for your own bullet journal, and I hope at the very least it was just enjoyable for you to watch. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social media, all of my links are in the description box as always. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!